Okay, no intros and outros again for this video. So if any of you guys truly care about myself, truly give a derriere about my thing, please like, share, comment, hit the bell notification for this channel. And if you guys truly care about my stuff, give a rapid lucky foot about my content. So always subscribe, all the other good stuff. Just in case any of you guys are my original old school audience members, in case the YouTube algorithm unsubscribed you to my channel, please resubscribe to me, come back to me again. Please, you guys are absolutely goated, absolute cinema, you're absolutely cracked in a good way. You're fire, your flames lit, whatever Gen Z likes to say. And of course, as always, my original fans, my fan peoples, my original watchers, my followers, my subscribers that were there for me in day freaking one. It'd be great if you come back with me again. Stay with me again, hopefully. And of course, as always, for anyone that's brand new to the channel, happen to stumble upon this channel for the first time ever, it would be great if you come along with me in this journey, come along with me in this adventure, tag along with the amazing shit I'm gonna have for you installed for you today. So there's that. Totally forgot to put my notifications off. Of course, I always do. But yeah, when you guys coming to pay, maybe even possibly stay with me here forever, just question mark options there, no pressure at all. But obviously for what's it called, if you don't want to stay with me forever, it's a one and done thing. You're never gonna see me ever again. It's totally fine. It's totally all good in the hood. It's all gravy. It's all dandy. It's all bright eye and bushy tail. It's totally understandable. Totally get it. Very content with it. Very humble with it. I'm trying to twist your guys' arm thinking, you have to stay here. There's 600, 700 million, maybe 800 million. It's 5 billion, 6 billion people you could watch besides me. I get it. Totally all right with that. Anyways, this one, I know I'm literally 2 weeks late on this thing. By the time I get to see it, it's going to be Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, January 24th, last month. Obviously, it was almost around the time my birthday was around, so it was the last 5.5 days before my birthday was obviously the thing. So Dragon Ball's 40th anniversary special video. I put it on 2.0. I don't know if I'm about to censor this or not, because I know on TV Tokyo, Japan is. I think they're the same ones that own the whole rights to Godzilla and all that, so I don't know if I'm going to have to censor out the video like I do with the Netflix ones, which is a bitch, but fortunately there's nothing I can do about that. So I ended up getting a copyright claim, God forbid a strike. There's another one that has Beerus in it, so I'm going to be reacting to both of them in the same video. So links in the description box down below, card to the side if you want to check it out your own personal time. Without wasting guys' time, we're jumping this reaction head freaking first. As always, rest in peace to the late and great, absolute, wonderful, absolutely goated. Wherever the hell he's at, I pray and hope to God he's in heaven. He can go to the other place, or maybe he's in limbo if he didn't make it to heaven. That's where hopefully I get to go one day, just in case it doesn't happen. Yeah, not wasting guys' amount of time. Rest in peace as always, Akira Toriyama. I know Team 4-Star is probably going to be hype about this. And I know they did an episode 2 for Sailor Moon 2, but I just decided to watch it on my own time, so unfortunately I gotta get a reaction on that. So yeah, this one and the Beerus one, they're both gonna be here. So let's see it. I made a lot of 90s kids and early 2000s kid childhood nostalgia without Mr. Toriyama and the rest of his artists that have made that show to keep going on, pursuing your life, pursuing your happiness, pursuing your dreams. Just like how Naruto and Bleach and freaking One Piece was, This is the only reason I even knew how there was a few black kids. I'm back in the day, but in middle school, high school, because in elementary school, I don't know what it was, but a lot of black African Americans kids weren't real crazy about anime. But it wasn't until I was in middle school and high school, then a lot of African American kids in the United States, then they started liking anime when stuff like One Piece and the Boondocks and what's it called, Yu-Gi-Oh started getting big. So I don't know why that was. It wasn't until I was in my college university, I was like, oh yeah, I guess a lot of black kids did like stuff like Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon. They were just too scared to admit it. Because I guess they thought, oh, that's for white kids or Asian kids and nerdy Asians, nerdy white people. It's not for black people. That's so gay and stupid and retarded and it's for faggots, And this was the 90s and 2000s. You were able to say that word, the F slur and R slur. But it's funny because I saw YouTube when you say the word retard or retarded, it doesn't get censored out anymore. So maybe YouTube's starting to go back to old school basically, which I doubt it. Or the other sword, the flagget one. Still can't say that one. All right, let's go. Let's jump into it. It's a little faster too, so I put it on 2.0 for both of them. So links down below. Get out to the Rest in peace to the man. Genie. That was like a big thing for Dragon Super. I remember I think they ended up doing a retelling of Goku's future or Goku's past. Because like in his original one, I think his evil dad Bardock or Turtles, I think that was his dad. But like he ended up, I don't know what it was. I think in the Dragon Ball Super or Dragon Ball Super Hero arcs, they completely redid the whole entire background origin story of Goku. So they made him look like he had a mom and dad. Because in the original Dragon Ball Z series, he didn't have no parents at all. I don't think. So there's that. Unless they did in the manga one, I don't know. And then there was like a parallel universe in a version of that too. Like how Raditz was Goku's older brother, but like unfortunately they were like oppressed by Frieza. And there was another universe. I forget what it was. I think it was like an alternate universe where like instead of him named Turtles, he was named something else. I forgot his name in this one. But I remember Goku's mom, her name's supposed to be Guinea or Ginny. And like there was another polar opposite version of like Frieza. I think they named him Freeze Cube or whatever. Or Blizzard Cube. I don't know. I know that was like a special music. There we go. Some Goku. Yeah, that's exactly what we got. Frieza looks at something or sense of dark presence of death. Ooh. Oh yeah, this is the one. This is the one that I saw as a movie thing. So they had as a manga first. Ah. I feel bad because the other three, spoiler alerts, his whole family dies. Except for Raditz. Raditz still alive. Take care. Oh. That's what they gave him clothes too. They brought it to life. Dragon Ball 40th anniversary. Oh, I feel where is it? Is it gonna be a retelling? There we go. Vegeta for the first time. The first man that meant the legend right there. Before it became Super Saiyan Vegeta. That was my freaking goated boy Vegeta. I still love the hell out of him. He was a grown ass old late 30s grown fucking man. A grown ass man with responsibility of paying bills and taxes. Still got mad love for freaking Mr. Vegeta himself. Even after he pretty much unalived Nappa and sent it to another dimension. But I think in the other version, they switched him from saying another dimension to like a different universe. Now be obliterated and die. Kill you guys. He used to say that. It's crazy, but I know Vegeta was the bad guy with dudes. I mean, Goku was still badass too, don't get me wrong. He was freaking OG badass full, but before Vegeta was introduced, it was either Raditz was real cool to me, or what was his name? Yamcha. Yamcha was actually my favorite character before they showed Vegeta, of course. He ended up being the weakest character ever when he always ended up beating the butt of the jokes. Yamcha's the weak one. He sucks. He always got his ass beat every freaking time, dude. It sucked, but that's why I ended up liking Vegeta even more. I still like other Dragon Ball Z ones too. Him and then his son Super Saiyan Trunks later on. And then the other one, Beerus, was pretty cool. So there's that. Oh, that's that he didn't see it till later. Yep. I remember that scene. Super Saiyan for the first time, like the killing got killed. Capsule preparation. Oh, the Cell Saga. And then doing the two five planet story, and Gohan has to figure out. Oh, and there was the other Majin Buu series. Had to be Majin Buu after that. Remember that one when David Evangelist controls Vegeta? Well, that one where Vegeta ends up sacrificing himself was so sad. That made me cry so freaking much. When he ended up being like Bibbidi and Bobbidi's like control play thing. But he decided to do a self-explosion or whatever. And then there's a whole 4 or 5 stages of Majin Buu that Vegeta had to fight. And then later on, I think Vegeta ends up getting revived and they become Gogeta to defeat Majin Buu. And there's the final version of Super Buu or Ultra Buu or Mega Buu. Because I know there was Kid Buu and then the Shadow Buu that was in there too. So there was a... And then the last one, I think, is before Goku could... I don't know if it's before or after the Majin Buu thing series took place. I think it's where he had to fight Pycon or whatever. I remember there's that. And then there's 2 other Dragon Ball Z doings. I remember those Super Android 17. And then there was Janemba one. And then there was Cooler. I only ever saw the first movie of Cooler. I never saw Super Cooler. I still never saw Black Dark version of Frieza. I still want to watch that one day, unless it's still a manga. That'd be cool if they bring him as an anime movie. And after that, made him Golden Frieza. And then there was the other one, too. It was like that old one from Dragon Ball Z. It was after the Tree of Might one. There was the one where I had like the big giant super brain. I forget what his name was. Professor something. I noticed all the professors and scientists in the Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super Beerus are always bad guys. The only one that was ever a good professor that he wanted to use his science and his intellect for knowledge of good, for the betterment, the actual, future goodness for humanity instead of turning against him, being evil, was like Bulma's dad. He was like the only scientist that was ever good, which sucked. The super villain, that's one of the good version. And that was the beginning of Trunks and Gohan's little brother and Goku's younger son, Goten. They become Gotenks. I forgot about that. Great Saiyan. Alright, I'm showing this man a little too. Goten. Piccolo. Oh, and the other one. Was that it? There's more again. Beyond the last one was the Battle of the Gods. Resurrection, I watched that one. I saw when I watched Dragon Super. Super Bowl, I seen the movie. That Super Hero Bowl, that one I still haven't seen. Still gotta watch Dragon Ball Diamond. I said that I watched it, it's amazing. So, a new chapter begins. What is it? Dragon Ball the Galactic Patrol. Super. Oh, they're going back to Super again. Oh, what? Hell yeah. I didn't know they were going back to Dragon Ball Super again. Heck yeah, man. Oh, and they get the Beerus one there too, but it's in Japanese, so I don't know if I can find it in English unless it doesn't matter, so give me guys a second. I'll still do the thoughts using unfinished, so hold on a quick sec. Okay, so the next one here, Anime Dragon Ball Super Beerus. That's the one I said I was going to, told you before, I'm telling you guys again. We're acting that one, I'll get the thoughts using minutes afterwards, so I guess I'm going to do this one normally since it's going to be shorter, so there's let's see how crazy Beerus is going to be, because I know there was a whole thing with the Egyptian gods. I know some people, they didn't like the other dude later on that ended up being a super villain, Goku Black. And some people thought Beerus was kind of crap. I thought he was cool as well. And then, like, the gods that were those blue or, I don't know if they have violet or blue or light sky blue skin or whatever. They were the ones that were, like, the assistant to, like, the gods or whatever, the Egyptian gods or wherever were. But, I know some people complained about how some like Egyptian gods look. Some people thought they sucked. Other people thought they were cool. I thought they were decent. Not all of them were the best, but some were pretty cool. And the one, oh my god, the one for the 3 female chicks, like the small, cute little girl chick, she was pretty. And then the other one's one that kind of looked like Harley Quinn. And then there was the other one. I forget her name. I think her name was Viridian or Viredi. Viredi or Viridian. And then there was another one I forgot. It was like the girl version of the other dude, Wiz, but she was like the assistant girl. I forgot her name, man. I think it was like Serena or something. Jesus God, the hentai Rule 3465 and the furry Borogel Boro deviant art not safe for work. The freaking fan art for those. Obviously, I can't show them on the year because I will get my whole channel completely shut down immediately because YouTube doesn't like corn and hentai. Woo! I'm not gonna tell you when I did it. I probably went through about 7, maybe 20 or 30 Vaseline bottles looking at those pictures because I needed my own stress relieving time. Let's just call it that. When I can still go out there once every 2-3 months and get females real, you know what? But I don't want to sound like I'm a sexist asshole either. So there's that. All right, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Let's jump into it. Oh, I don't think I'm gonna get like ice cream with a spicy soup. What's up? Beers. I'm not from Japanese. Oh well. Son Goku. Super Saiyajin God. Toriyama. Oh, this is nice little duck stuff on there. Hot stuff. Chill stuff. Dragonball Super Beerus. There we go. He's got a thing called a parents. He doesn't sleep all the time. 39年宇宙一強い破壊神ビルス様が目を覚まされている。破壊神ビルス、破壊の神様。地球の諸君、永遠にさようなら。このままでは地球はなくなってしまう。僕はね、眠いんだよ。待て！地球が溢れるにこのまま静かなんかしてられんかよ。破壊神だとふざけるのもいい加減にしやがれ。Yeah. That's still Goku or the other one Gohan? That's Son Goku 3. Oh. 正しい心を持つサイヤ人が手をつないで一人のサイヤ人に心をつなげればその一人はサイヤ人の神になるらしいです。さあ見せてくれスーパーサイヤ人ゴッドの力を。スーパーサイヤ人ゴッド、少なくとも同等の神になったんですよ。Also, they're doing like a retelling of Dragon Ball Super. It wasn't even that long ago when it came out. It was like 2014, 15 Japan, and 2016, 17, I think it came out in the United States. So like 8, 9.5 years ago when it came out. That's so crazy. They should have waited like 15 or 20 years so if they're gonna do a retelling of it. What? Oh, that's just like a different alternate universe where it happens to the laws and so on. I would have to get 60% ultra and stuff after that. And you wouldn't be able to start using it too. You don't.続けようぜビルス様。スーパーサイヤ人ゴッドのパワーはまだオラを上に連れてってくれるみてえだからよ。ドラゴンボールビルス。破壊神はね。怖いんだよ。Oh. The back of that one, man. A little scary right there. Oh, man. So as like I always do say, ladies and gentlemen, as always, overall thoughts, views, opinions, vibes, feelings, hot takes, spicy takes, unhinged thoughts, as always, bullet points, wild, crazy thoughts, as always, hot take, harsh, broad opinions, and of course, the last things I always say is world scales, and as always, speculations at the topic of hand here, top of the dome, top of the freaking brain, my fucking cranium right here, ladies and gents. My views on it. Raw, uncut, unbalanced, wild ass views. So here's the thing. You know, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, the first one, oh man, the first one had me I was almost about to shed a freaking tear because I grew up, like, I know I sound like a broken record every time I do these old school shit from like Pokemon series, or Grand Theft Auto series, or Dragon Ball Z series, or Tekken, or Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, and the other shit like what's it called, Fatal Fury, aka King of Fighters shit. Even the last two, like stuff for like Bleach series and sometimes Hero Academia. Well, not much Hero Academia because by the time I was like 26, 27, 28, in my mid late 20s, I was already a grown ass man. I already finished college, university. I was doing my hotel casino job, the older one I used to do before the whole COVID pandemic, the scandemic, COVID 19 happened, and I had to leave that one because they were forcing everyone to get that thing I can't say on YouTube. So, but the older one I was still working at, which I still work at. Luckily, they were forcing people to do it. Thank God. Thank Jesus for that, because if that would have happened, I would have to get a whole new, different type of work. Unless I would have had to go to like the union and see if they were the culinary unit, see if they're gonna get me back in somewhere. But luckily, fingers crossed, it happened. God was on my side. Hopefully, Jesus was on my side, and I was still able to continue to work at the other hotel casino. And then about 6, 8 months to like a year later, I found another one that they were like having like auditions for those not auditions but like job interviews for that, and I was able to get it. Thank God. The first 2 weeks. It was right after the place opened too, so I've had that one since 2021. I think a year after. I mean, the second year after the pandemic was still going on, and 2022 is when it was finally over. Thank God. About 6 or 5.5 years I've been working there, so. And the boss is so super chill, so but the older one, like, boss is an absolute fucking dickhead. I hate his fucking ass. But anyways, not here to talk about me. Here to talk about this. Yeah, the way they make the manga bring to life, like, I'm not gonna lie, the only two Dragon Ball original like cartoon series I never got to watch is when they did the whole saga thing when Goku fights Tien and Chaozu. When they like, I've only seen the last final episode of that, but I never watched the whole entire thing. There's that one and the whole one where Goku fights King Piccolo. Like I've seen like the flashback memory of it, but I never watched the entire series of that one. I missed out on those two, so one day I do gotta watch it. Like wherever I can watch it, I don't know. But other than that, then of course after that was the whole Dragon Ball Z series. I think it cuts to like 10, 15, 20 years later. Goku marries Chi Chi, and like what's it called? Like the egg that hatches out of what's it called? The evil King Piccolo becomes regular Piccolo, the one that Gohan raises, obviously. Since Goku's out there saving the world, he pretty much was Gohan's, ends up being Gohan's future, like, what's it called? Stepdad, pretty much. As well as I know a lot of people like to make jokes on that one. And then after that, there was the whole Raditz series, only lasts for what, 3 or 5, 7 episodes. And after that was the whole thing after Goku gets unalive, because I could go through the whole thing. I'll be here all day if I say it though. And obviously, Piccolo, the good Piccolo, he's just a special being canon. A special being canon to Raditz, but he ends up taking out him and Goku at the same time. And unfortunately, he accidentally takes out Goku for a long time. But then, like, he ends up going to like the Snake Way Trail, and then he has to do that whole long walk, and he has to run all the way until he gets to King Kai's planet, and then after that, well, meanwhile on Earth, like Piccolo, he's like training Gohan to be a strong Z fighter, and they got like 1 year or 2 years before like Nappa and Vegeta end up going to Earth because Raditz wasn't the only one, and then all the other ones like Tien, Chaozu, Yamcha, and Krillin, they're all training. Besides Gohan and Piccolo, they all start on what's it called? Training for Vegeta and Nappa. Oh, fuck is in my mouth? It's weird, some weird hair thing. I don't know why. Yeah, after that, like, they all have to fight after a year or 2 years go by, and they finally have Nappa and Vegeta. They arrive to Earth, and then they show that whole crazy ass sequence where Nappa just destroys a whole ass city with his mouth. He has like this Kai energy blast. He blows up a whole damn city within 2, 3 seconds. This shit's gone, evaporated, eviscerated. I think that's the whole reason why I grew up in the 90s or 2000s. Why I ended up being such a sucker and a nerd for a lot of dystopian, Armageddon dystopian, like apocalypse and another world sort of like scenarios to movies and TVs and video games and animes, because it was probably Dragon Ball Z. And that was probably like the first time I that kind of like got me addicted to like freaking a crack addict, like to like a freaking cocaine addict, but for anime and manga, down to the world dystopian shit, like Armageddon apocalypse shit. Like when I saw those visions, like when those episodes, I just went like after the Cybermen beat the crap out of all the Dragon Ball Z fighters, and after that, you have Goku. He finally was done training on King Kai's planet, and he finally makes it there after Snake Way, and he's able to fly there a lot faster. He's a lot more stronger when he learns to do the KO can, like KO can. And if any of you guys don't know that, it's just goes KO can. He goes and he glows red. And he can only go times 20 or times 50 because if he goes past that, it ends up overexerting his body, and his body ends up beating the crap out of him mentally and internally. And he ends up kicking the shit out of Nappa, I know that. But it sucks because a lot of people died already. Chaozu, he passed away. Tien gets his freaking hand cut off, and I remember, I think Yamcha might have died. I forgot if he lived or died. I think he did. Both of them. Yamcha, Chaozu, and I think Tien might have died. I don't know. And the only one that survived was Piccolo and Gohan. That was it. I think Krillin, too. And then after that, that's the whole big giant epic fight with my boy, the freaking man, the legend, the GOAT, Vegeta, before he became good. And then like they do that big giant fight with Goku versus Vegeta. And then like at the last second when Goku's about to defeat him, Yajirobe ends up he cuts off like Vegeta's tail from being a big giant super monkey. And after that he ends up escaping, and then Krillin's like, oh no, why'd you let him escape? And he got angry, and he like goes back, and Vegeta goes back in those pod, and he's smirking and laughing at Krillin because he didn't take him out right away. Because like Goku wanted to give Vegeta a chance to see he still have goodness in his heart instead of evil. But yeah, Vegeta and Goku predicted the future. Even though he's the one that first called him Kakarot. It's like, why does he keep calling him Kakarot? I thought his name was Goku. And that was a sane name. That's what I found out later on. And then that the whole thing is a bunch of filter episodes, yada yada, and then the whole Frieza saga starts. And after that, I'm just gonna cut it to the chase. That one comes and goes, and after that, it's the Cell saga, and then after that, it's the freaking Majin Buu saga, and then after that, it's all the Dragon Ball Z movies. And there was the other one, Dragon Ball GT, and the other ones. That one, DBZ Kai, but I guess they didn't. That was like another version of Dragon Ball. I guess they decided not to do, like to add into the main Dragon Ball series. I guess it didn't go with Dragon Ball Super, and then the other one, Broly version, and then the one with the other Dragon Ball Z movie that has Super Max Cell, and then the two super alien dudes, and then the other one, Daima, later on. Still gotta get a chance to watch one, but I just hope and pray. Fingers crossed to the late Akira Toriyama, he left us something really, really badass. I hope he freaking did, because that dude, he was a god and a myth amongst men when it came to his animations. Nobody's ever going to be as good as Mr. Akira Toriyama-san. Let the man rest in absolute power and absolute peace wherever the man is at now. Akira Toriyama, hopefully he made it to heaven if he did. And if I get to make it to heaven one day, hopefully, my name's in that book of the Lamb, I want to hug him and I want to thank him for making my childhood like one of the best childhoods in my life when I was a 90s kid, man. Not just me, there's thousands and millions of other millennial dudes and girls that grew up probably watching that whole DBZ series, collecting the manga, getting the figurines, getting the trading cards, just like with Pokemon and Digimon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Like if you were a 90s kid at the time, even if you were an 80s kid and you grew up with the original Dragon Ball, you knew how monumentously huge that anime was. It's like one of the big three or big five. I know for Gen Z or Gen Alpha, it's probably gonna be a whole other different anime. It could be Hero Academia, Attack on Titan, One Punch Man, or for Gen Alphas, it's probably gonna be like Jujutsu Kaisen, or what else? The newer rendition version of One Piece, or the newer rendition version of Hunter x Hunter, or whatever newer animes that are gonna be out there in 2025 or 2026. That's gonna be their big three or big five. I get it. It's a generational gap, you know. Other than that, it's always different. I'm out of here. I know I'm not the only one, especially in Central South America. Dragon Ball Z was a very huge ass thing. I remember when I went to Mexico like 5 times ever. My cousins were hooked on Dragon Ball Z like freaking cocaine. Crazy hooked to that. That went along with the King of Fighters series and SNK shit. It was a very big thing down there in Central South America. So I know He's got fans besides all over the world. Those are his hardcore dedicated fans out there. I mean, there's still hardcore dedicated fans all over the world. Like, he made so many kids' childhoods worth living, man. And I was going through, especially when I was in elementary, middle school, when I was getting bullied and picked on a lot, and the teachers didn't do shit about it. That was one of my only escapes when it comes to anime and old school video games. I was able to play those, like, to get away from that fucking shit I was going through. So really, they pretty much saved my life, honestly. Because without them, anime or movies or video games to keep me happy, like, I would literally wouldn't even be here talking to you right now. I would have game ended myself. You guys can know what that means. I would have Minecraft not be here anymore if it wasn't for these beautiful, wonderful franchise animes. I know it sounds like an exaggeration, but I probably heard testimonies from other people like that the reason they wanted to become a gym bro and the reason they wanted to get stronger, more powerful was because it was thanks to the Dragon Ball Z anime. I've heard other people say that shit saved their life, so I know I'm not the only one that went through that. So I know it's kind of stupid to think that, but to me personally, that shit, if I ever get a gravestone, I'm an 89-year-old man, I want to say this man was the biggest fan of the Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, and the Naruto series. And he loved GTA 6, and he loved the shit out of old school Star Wars. He loved the crap out of the Bleach series. And he was a hardcore Sonic fan, too. And he liked all the really pretty anime girls. Here lies one of the best persons, and he was a big Smash Bros. Nintendo fan and Sony fan. Even though I know a lot of these corporations only give a shit about your money and that's it. At least childhood wise, they gave us a dream to keep following and let no mother effer tell you otherwise. And that's it. That's all I say for now. Peace out. Late to my. I'm out. See you soon.